Clark.
Continuing to get better. I think we could have executed a little bit better on offense, but they're a really good defensive team. So we got a little stagnant. We didn't get out in transition probably as much as we would have liked, but we did some good things, but also some things we can learn from.
Watch it back. I'm not sure if we're going to love that we were small. You know, maybe we should have stayed big and get a little more pressure on the inside, but analytics during the game showed us that we were better small, so we did it.
Welcome to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where we are inside a sold-out Target Center. Indiana getting ready to take on Minnesota.
Really good team, you know, on both ends of the floor. I mean, defensively, they're one of the best teams in the league. You know, then they've got some pretty good weapons on the offensive end.
The tension between Caitlin Clark and Cheryl Reeve is about to explode in the WNBA. This Friday, September 6, 2024, the Indiana Fever and Minnesota Lynx face off again at the Target Center in Minneapolis. And the drama between Clark and Reeve is still fresh after Clark's shocking Olympic team snub. Reeve, head coach of the Lynx and a key figure in Team USA decisions, faced major backlash for her role in keeping Clark off Team USA. Now they're meeting on the court in a high-stakes WNBA showdown. The Fever have dominated the Lynx recently, winning their last 3 meetings. But with playoff implications and personal pride on the line, this matchup feels different. It's not just about winning, it's personal. Will Caitlin Clark get her revenge and lead the Fever to victory? Or will Cheryl Reeve and the Lynx silence the rookie star? Let's start with the core of this WNBA rivalry, the Olympic snub. Caitlin Clark, the #1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, has been a standout rookie for the Indiana Fever, averaging 17.8 points, 8.3 assists, and 5.8 rebounds per game. Her electrifying performances have made her one of the biggest stars in women's basketball, but when the Team USA Olympic roster was announced, Clark's name was shockingly absent. This sparked outrage among WNBA fans, with many pointing fingers at Cheryl Reeve, who, although not part of the selection committee, had major influence as a national team coach. Reeve's response to the backlash? She didn't hold back. When asked about the snub, she bluntly responded, "Why the hell would I answer a national team question?" This comment added fuel to the fire, making it clear that there was tension between the two. Now, as the Fever and Lynx prepare to clash, the rivalry has reached its boiling point. The stakes are high, not just for playoff positioning, but for personal redemption. On the court, Caitlin Clark has been on a mission. The Indiana Fever have been on a tear recently, winning 8 of their last 12 games, including their last matchup against the Lynx on July 15, 2024, where they secured an 81-74 victory. In that game, Clark was unstoppable, and Kelsey Mitchell added firepower, scoring 27 points in a recent game against Seattle. The Fever have now won their last 3 meetings with the Lynx, and they'll be looking to extend that streak on Friday. Key players to watch for the Fever include Caitlin Clark, of course, but also Kelsey Mitchell, who's been averaging 17.7 points per game, and Aaliyah Boston, the dominant center, averaging 14.0 points and 9.0 rebounds per game. Boston's efficiency, with a shooting percentage of 52.7%, makes her a major threat inside the paint. Nalissa Smith adds depth with her 11.4 points and 7.8 rebounds per game, giving the Fever a well-rounded attack. The Fever will need all their star power to keep their momentum going in this crucial WNBA game. The Minnesota Lynx, however, are no easy opponent. With a strong 16-8 record, they're battling for the top spot in the Western Conference, trailing only the Las Vegas Aces. Leading the Lynx is Napheesa Collier, who's been phenomenal this season, averaging 20.7 points and 10.2 rebounds per game. Collier's versatility and ability to impact both ends of the floor make her a key player to watch. Her head-to-head battle with Caitlin Clark will be one of the most exciting matchups of the night, as the rookie and the seasoned all-star go toe-to-toe. Other key players for the Lynx include Kayla McBride, who's averaging 15.7 points per game and shooting a blistering 42.1% from three-point range. McBride's sharp shooting will be crucial for the Lynx if they want to break through the Fever's defense. Courtney Williams, who leads the team with 5.4 assists per game, will play a vital role in facilitating the Lynx offense, while Alana Smith brings defensive intensity, averaging 1.5 steals and 1.7 blocks per game. The Lynx are determined to bounce back after recent losses, and a win against the Fever would secure their position in the WNBA playoff race. This game has huge playoff implications for both teams. The Fever, currently with an 11-14 record, are pushing for a postseason spot. A win over the Lynx would give them critical momentum as they head into the final stretch of the regular season. For the Lynx, a victory is just as important. Sitting at 16-8, they're chasing home court advantage in the playoffs, and every win counts as they aim to keep pace with the Las Vegas Aces at the top of the Western Conference standings. Historically, the Fever and Lynx have had an intense rivalry. The Lynx hold a 25-13 record in their matchups since the Fever joined the WNBA in 2000, but the tide has turned recently. The Fever have won their last 3 games against the Lynx, and with both teams vying for crucial playoff positioning, this game has added weight. The Fever are on the rise, and this game will determine if they can continue their dominance or if the Lynx will reassert their control. But let's get back to the headline. Caitlin Clark versus Cheryl Reeve. This game is personal for Clark, who is determined to prove she belongs among the elite. Her Olympic snub still stings, and Reeve's dismissive comments haven't been forgotten. Reeve's blunt remarks, including when she downplayed the cheers for Clark in a previous game by saying,
"It's all around the league." But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side.
I don't get 2 shits.
How about 1?
Not even 1 shit.
have only added to the drama. Reeve's competitive nature will be on full display as she looks to break the Fever's winning streak and take control of this matchup. The player-to-player rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier is another exciting element of this WNBA showdown. Clark, known for her scoring, playmaking, and leadership, will face off against Collier, who brings all-star experience and a balanced game to the court. They've never played against each other in the WNBA, but their college battles when Clark played for Iowa and Collier for UConn have only increased the anticipation for this head-to-head matchup. Then there's the battle of the shooters, Kelsey Mitchell versus Kayla McBride. Both are lethal from beyond the arc, and their scoring could swing the momentum of this game. Mitchell's 17.7 points per game and McBride's 42.1% three-point shooting will be key factors to watch as these two go shot for shot. Their performances could very well determine which team comes out on top. So what will happen on Friday night? Will Caitlin Clark prove she belongs on Team USA and lead the Fever to another victory? Or will Cheryl Reeve and the Lynx put an end to the Fever's hot streak? With playoff implications, personal drama, and star players like Clark, Collier, Mitchell, and McBride all taking the court, this game promises to be one of the most intense matchups of the season. It's not just about basketball anymore, it's personal. Don't miss it.
Caitlin is just a rookie in the WNBA. Wasn't playing bad, but wasn't playing like she's playing now. If we had to do it all over again, the way that she's playing, she would be in really high consideration of making the team.
The WNBA team simply dominated Team USA. And guess who shined? Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But wait, there's more to this story. Cheryl Reeve, the coach of Team USA, had something to say before the game.
Is there any second guessing here about not having Clark on the Olympic team?
From me? No.
Coach, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it looks like someone underestimated the rookie sensation and ended up losing to the WNBA team. By the way, Clark not only played well, she broke the assist record. And Reese? She pulled off a double-double that left everyone stunned. In this video, we're going to break down everything that happened in this epic game. We'll go over the performances of Clark and Reese and how Cheryl Reeve's strategy backfired. There's controversy, records, twists, everything we love about basketball. Let's start by addressing the elephant in the room, Cheryl Reeve. For those who don't know, she is the coach of the USA Olympic team. Days before the All-Star game, Reeve made some pretty controversial statements about Caitlin Clark. But why all the animosity? Well, we don't know exactly, but what we do know is that Clark made history in this All-Star game. Clark set the record with 10 assists for rookies in the All-Star game. That's right, in her first All-Star appearance, she nearly broke a record that many veterans haven't even come close to. Clark showed game vision, precision in passing, and an incredible ability to read the court. She not only distributed the game, but did so in a way that elevated the performance of the entire WNBA team. And you know what's even more impressive? She did all this under enormous pressure. Just imagine her first appearance in the All-Star game after all the controversy with Reeve and with the eyes of the entire basketball world on her. Many people would have crumbled, but Clark shined. This WNBA team's victory not only silenced the critics, but also raised an important question. How can someone with this talent be left out of the Olympics? Clark's performance in the first half of the season was certainly Olympic-worthy. But besides Clark, we have to talk about Angel Reese. While Clark dominated with assists, Reese showed why she is considered one of the most promising rookies in the league. Reese managed an impressive double-double, scoring 12 points and grabbing 11 rebounds. And don't think these were easy rebounds. Many of them came from the attack, with Reese outpacing her opponents and positioning herself perfectly to get the ball. What makes this performance even more notable is that Reese started the game on the bench. She wasn't in the starting lineup, but when she entered the court, she made sure to show why she deserved to be there. Now let's talk about the MVP of the game, Raiki Ogunbowale. If Clark and Reese represented the future, Ogunbowale showed that the present of the WNBA is also brilliant. She had a simply spectacular performance, finishing the game with 34 points. But the most impressive part, she made 8 out of 13 three-pointers. That's right, the numbers are impressive on their own, but those who watch the game know they don't tell the whole story. Ogunbowale wasn't just making open shots. She was creating space, doing step backs, and hitting shots from long distance, often with defenders right on her. Her performance was crucial for the WNBA team's victory. Every time Team USA threatened to make a comeback, there she was with a three-pointer to maintain the lead. She didn't just score, she scored at the right moments. Ogunbowale's performance also highlights the depth of talent in the WNBA. We have Clark and Reese representing the future, but we also have players like Ogunbowale showing that the present of the league is in great hands. Want to know more about how these stars are changing the game? Keep watching. Now let's talk about Team USA's performance in the decisions of Coach Cheryl Reeve. Despite their stellar lineup, Team USA couldn't effectively compete against the WNBA team. Players like Breanna Stewart and A'ja Wilson had solid performances. Stewart scored 31 points, and Wilson contributed 22 points and 6 rebounds. But it wasn't enough. The problem seemed to be more in the strategy and team chemistry than in individual talent. Several players seemed lost on the court, and the lack of cohesion was evident, especially when compared to the fluidity of the WNBA team's play. The criticism of Cheryl Reeve was intense after the game. Many questioned her player choices and, more importantly, her decisions during the match. One point of criticism was the lack of tactical adjustments throughout the game. Even with the WNBA team dominating, Reeve seemed reluctant to change her strategy. This contrasted sharply with the flexible and adaptive approach of the WNBA team coach, Cheryl Miller. Think this was a one-off issue? Let's dive deeper. This game raised serious questions about Team USA's preparation for the upcoming Olympics. If they can't dominate an all-star game, how will they fare against well-trained and motivated international teams? The defeat of Team USA is not just a surprising result, it's a wake-up call. It shows that individual talent is not enough. You need strategy, team chemistry, and strong leadership from the coaching staff. The clock is ticking, and the Paris Games are approaching quickly. So what does all this mean for the future of the WNBA and women's basketball in the USA? We are at a crucial turning point. On one hand, we have Clark and Reese, two rookies who have just proven they can not only compete, but dominate on a stage with the best players in the world. They represent a new generation of talent coming to the league with exceptional skills and a winning mentality. On the other hand, we have the established Team USA, led by Cheryl Reeve, who seems to be struggling to adapt to this new reality. The reluctance to recognize and embrace these new talents could cost them dearly in international competitions. The question that hangs in the air is, will Reeve and USA Basketball be able to make the choices that truly represent the best of American women's basketball? Or will we see talents like Clark being left out again for reasons beyond on-court performance? The USA has a tradition of dominance in Olympic women's basketball, but this hegemony could be at risk in the upcoming Olympics if the right decisions are not made. Curious about what could happen next? Stay tuned! This All-Star game may have been just a preview of the drama to come. The tension between the old guard and the new generation, between tradition and innovation, is reaching a boiling point. The outcome of this battle could very well determine the future of women's basketball in the United States and the world. Guys, what we saw in this All-Star game was more than just an exhibition game. It was a glimpse into the future of women's basketball and a warning about the need for change. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese proved that the hype around them is more than justified. They not only competed on par with the veterans, but, in many moments, outperformed them. Clark nearly broke a historic assist record, while Reese dominated the rebounds. Ogunbowale reminded us that the WNBA is full of established talents that continue to evolve and surprise. Her MVP performance was simply spectacular and crucial for the WNBA team's victory. Want to be part of the action? Make sure you're in the loop. On the other hand, the performance of Team USA and Cheryl Reeve's decisions raised serious questions about their preparation for the Paris Olympics. It's time for USA basketball to reassess their strategies and player selection to ensure they are truly representing the best of American women's basketball. So, what did you think of this All-Star game? Do you think Clark and Reese deserved a chance on the Olympic team, or do you agree with Cheryl Reeve's current approach? Leave your opinions in the comments. I want to know what you, who follow basketball closely, think about all of this. Your insights are super important to enrich this discussion. And if you enjoyed this analysis and want to stay on top of everything happening in the world of women's basketball, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Activate the notification bell too, so you don't miss any videos. The WNBA is going through an incredible moment, and together we can follow and discuss every development in this exciting league. See you in the next video, guys.
You know, this game's going to be chippy from the beginning. I don't know what they're doing or what they've been doing or what's going on. It doesn't matter to us. We keep doing what we're doing. Come on. Together!
31 points, 12 assists, one unforgettable night. Caitlin Clark just rewrote the WNBA rookie playbook. In a high-stakes showdown against Angel Reese, Clark didn't just win, she dominated. But the big question remains, is the WNBA Rookie of the Year race already over? Buckle up, WNBA fans, because we're breaking down a game that will be talked about for years to come. Let's set the scene. Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. Two teams, two standout rookies, one epic showdown. What was supposed to be a close battle turned into the Caitlin Clark show, a performance that has everyone asking if this is the defining moment in the 2024 WNBA season. From the moment Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, you could feel the intensity. This wasn't just another game, it was a statement. Her posture, her focus, everything screamed, "This is my house now." And boy, did she prove it. Let's break down the numbers, because they're nothing short of spectacular. Clark finished with 31 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds. But here's the kicker. She did it all in just 3 quarters. That's right, Caitlin Clark was already on the bench with 3 minutes left in the fourth, the game well in hand. Now let's talk about those 12 assists. This isn't just about scoring. It's about Caitlin Clark's next-level vision on the court. She's not just playing the game, she's conducting a symphony. Each pass, each play, perfectly timed and executed. Clark is redefining the point guard position in the WNBA, showing why she's a game changer for the Indiana Fever. But it's not just the quantity of her stats, it's the quality. Caitlin Clark shot 5 for 8 from beyond the arc. We're talking long-range bombs that had even Chicago Sky fans rising from their seats. One shot, from way beyond the three-point line, was pure magic. It wasn't just a basket, it was a statement. A statement that Caitlin Clark is here to change the WNBA forever. Now let's address the elephant in the room, Angel Reese. This game was hyped as Clark versus Reese, the battle of the WNBA's super rookies. But it turned into a one-woman show. While Clark was lighting up the scoreboard, Reese struggled. She finished with just 10 points and 11 rebounds. In this head-to-head matchup, it wasn't even close. But here's where it gets really interesting. Caitlin Clark's impact goes way beyond her personal stats. Let's talk about the Indiana Fever. Last season, they were the league's punching bag, finishing with a dismal 13-27 record. Now they're playoff contenders, and a lot of that is thanks to Caitlin Clark's leadership and on-court brilliance. The final score? 181. A blowout. By the end of the third quarter, with Clark already on the bench, the Fever were up 98-74. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement to the entire WNBA. The Indiana Fever are here, and Caitlin Clark is leading the charge. But it's not just about one game. Caitlin Clark is transforming this franchise. Her teammates are playing better. Aaliyah Boston, for example, is thriving with Clark's pinpoint passes. The chemistry is electric, and it's giving opposing defenses nightmares. The Fever have gone from a rebuilding team to a legitimate playoff threat, all thanks to their rookie sensation. And let's talk about that Caitlin Clark confidence. It's contagious. You can see it in how the whole team plays. They believe they can beat anyone, any night. That champion mentality? It's crucial for a young team looking to make noise in the playoffs. But success comes with a price. Late in the game, with the Fever comfortably ahead, we saw the ugly side of frustration. Caitlin Clark was pushed from behind during a transition play. She fell hard, causing a moment of concern for every WNBA fan watching. This incident speaks volumes. Caitlin Clark isn't just winning games. She's getting into her opponents' heads. The Chicago Sky, a respected team with their own stars, resorted to desperate tactics. It's the kind of impact we usually see from seasoned veterans, not rookies in their first WNBA season. But Caitlin Clark, she got up, dusted herself off, and walked back to the bench with a smile. That smile said it all. You can knock me down, but you can't stop me. This is the kind of resilience that defines superstars in the WNBA. Now let's zoom out for a second. This performance isn't just about one game or even one season. We're watching the birth of a WNBA superstar. Caitlin Clark is redefining what's possible for a rookie. She's not just playing well, she's changing the game and raising the bar for the entire WNBA. And it's not just Caitlin Clark who's evolving. Let's talk about Coach Christy Sides. At the start of the season, many questioned if Sides could maximize Clark's potential. Well, those doubts are fading fast. Sides has rebuilt the Indiana Fever's offense around Caitlin Clark's unique skills. The result? A fluid, unpredictable attack that left the Chicago Sky defense scrambling. Sides isn't just letting Clark shine, she's building a cohesive, dangerous team around her star. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. While this game feels like a coronation for Caitlin Clark, it's important to remember we're still early in the season. There's a lot of basketball left to play. That said, it's hard to imagine anyone catching Clark in the WNBA Rookie of the Year race after this performance. She's not just putting up numbers, she's changing the narrative around her team and the league. And here's an exciting thought. This might just be the beginning of an epic rivalry. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, two of the most talented and charismatic players to enter the WNBA in years, already have history from their college days. Now that rivalry has been transported to the biggest stage in women's basketball. Yes, Caitlin Clark dominated this matchup, but Angel Reese is a fierce competitor. You can bet she's going to use this defeat as fuel. She'll go back to training, work even harder, and come back with everything next season. And Clark? Well, she just set a new standard for herself. Now the pressure's on to maintain this level of play. Can she continue to dominate like this? Or will Reese and other rising stars find a way to contain her? Imagine future matchups between these two. Every Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky game will be must-watch TV. Comparisons will be inevitable. Statistics will be scrutinized. And fans on both sides will passionately defend their favorite player. But beyond the numbers and the rivalries, let's appreciate what we're witnessing. Caitlin Clark's performance isn't just changing games. It's changing the WNBA. She's bringing new fans to the league, filling arenas, and creating buzz we haven't seen in years. This is the kind of star power that can elevate an entire sport. Young girls watching Caitlin Clark aren't just seeing a great player. They're seeing what's possible. They're seeing a woman dominate on the biggest stage, playing with a joy and confidence that's infectious. And let's be clear, this isn't just good for the Indiana Fever or for Caitlin Clark herself. It's good for the entire WNBA. Rising tides lift all boats, and Caitlin Clark is creating a tidal wave of interest in women's basketball. As the dust settles on Caitlin Clark's historic night, one thing is clear. The WNBA will never be the same. We're not just watching a great rookie season, we're witnessing the birth of a superstar. The Rookie of the Year race, it might be over, but Caitlin Clark's impact on the league, that's just beginning. Buckle up, WNBA fans. The Caitlin Clark era is here, and it's going to be one hell of a ride.